Now, what is the deal? Geno still ain't got paid. I'm not trying to clown, but I think they might not be going to pay Geno. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. Yo, what's good, Raider Nation? Welcome in to another exciting episode of They Follow from Burners / the Raider Ragu show. Really, it's just straight Raider Ragu show, but they do follow from burner accounts. Let me not forget my sponsor, SheBangBoutique.com, SHEEBangBoutique.com. Go over there, get your girl something fly. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the show. Thanks a lot. Okay. Now, no extension for Geno Smith. Perhaps they're still thinking that they might have a shot at a quarterback at number 6, or maybe they have their eye on a quarterback in a later round or later on in the first round, somebody different than Sanders or Ward, and they're going to make Geno compete with him. Going to make him compete for basically the starting job and for an extension. Okay, they could be thinking that way. It doesn't have to be just Ward or Sanders. They can make him compete with a Jackson Dart. I hope they're not thinking Jackson Dart. I'm not a Jackson Dart fan. They could be thinking having him compete with a couple more guys in the draft. Tyler Shock, I believe his name is, or Shaw, something like that. The older kid from Louisville. They could be trying to have him compete with, I don't know, guy in the maybe second, third round, Kyle McCord or somebody of that nature, Ewers, Will Howard, somebody in the later rounds. But I'm starting to get the feeling that they're not extending Geno because they're going to make him compete in training camp with a rookie quarterback that they're about to draft. The only difference is I don't think it's going to be Sanders or Ward. Those guys are going to be gone at 6. If Ward is there at 6, I'm still on board with drafting him and then have Geno and Sanders compete. But we'll see how that plays out. So the Raiders had put in an offer for the RFA, restricted free agent Christian Elliss, linebacker, to play for New England. Inside off-ball linebacker. Solid special teams contributor as well. Offered them $3.8 million and somewhere in that nature, and they were expecting the Patriots to not match them because the Patriots had just picked up Spillane, spent a few dollars there at the linebacker position. So they was thinking he probably wasn't going to match, but they did. They matched it. So they end up not getting Christian Elliss. So we still don't have we're minus a linebacker in there. There's a void in there because both of our starters left. Both of those were veteran guys. We do have Elandon Roberts that just came over from the Steelers as a veteran and somebody that's likely to start, really penciled in. But other than that, we got young guys that hasn't started in the National Football League, hasn't proven that they can start in the National Football League. So they need to get somebody over there that can start and that has started and is proven in the National Football League. So there's still a void there. We'll watch. That's a position we'll watch, that other linebacker position. Now, Christian Elliss didn't get him on the restricted free agent tender offer that they submitted because the Patriots matched. But now that don't mean that the Raiders can't turn around and trade for him. So in that way, the Patriots match All right. And then don't actually have to pay it because they then trade the guy Ellis to the Raiders for a pick. So by doing that, this could really just be a move by the Patriots to say, hey, let's get a pick out of the Raiders because it seems like they want this guy. And if you want the guy, just go ahead and give up the pick. I would say, that 182nd pick, I think 6th-rounder. We'll give up a 6th-rounder for Christian Elliss. So the Raiders still would be left with 7 picks, right? You give up a Christian Elliss for that 182 because he's likely gonna start. So that's like giving up a 6th-rounder for a starter for your team. You'll do that. So if the Patriots will go for that 6th-round pick, I would say go ahead and do that. So that's another thing we're gonna watch. If Christian Elliss will get the Raiders end up trading for him for that 5th-rounder. Now, where that's the 6th-rounder, 182. My bad. That's the 6th-rounder, but 144. I think that's the 5th-round pick. I don't know about that one. I guess if he's gonna start, we'll give that pick up. Jackson Woodard. This guy is thirsty. He is not projected to go really high, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna take a look because I really haven't gotten into the off-ball linebackers yet. There's so much quarterback talk and running back talk. I haven't even really got to get into them yet. And then linemen, I've been heavy into the linemen right now in the off season as far as the draft picks or whatever. But this guy's not even scratching the surface of the top 20 in off-ball linebackers. And I'm thinking that that's an oversight. I do not see this guy, Woodard, from UNLV. That's a pick that we have to monitor because I know there's another sneaky scouting department that has him higher than what they have him on these rookie rankings. So he might be an option to try and draft, but he would still be a rookie when he got there. So he's not going to be relied on to start. So the Raiders need to see if they can't figure out how to get that Christian Elliss trade done. We'll do the 6th-round 182. But it's interesting. Jackson Woodard would be an interesting prospect at that linebacker position. All right. Moving on. The Raiders got a decision to make on 2 of their offensive starters, contract-wise. That's Colton Miller and Jacoby Myers. All right. Colton Miller is on the last year of a 3-year, $54 million deal that he signed when he re-signed in 21. When they extended him, I should say, in 21. They valued that out to about a 4-year for 80 with 60 guaranteed, ballpark. It's like 78, 79 mil, but I just rounded it up 4 years, 80 mil for him, 60 guaranteed if you're trying to re-sign Colton Miller. He's 29. If you signed him to that deal, it'd be 33 at the end of it. 33 is about that age when you start to see the veteran linemen taking 1 and 2 year deals and probably moving on from the team that they played with for a while. Unless, in some other instances, you end up staying for a longer period at that same team and finishing your career there. A lot of tackles do that. But a lot of them become kind of like mercenaries. 1-year deal here, not going to camp, come in late, get in shape, start the rest of the season type, after you get to about that 33, 34-year-old mark. Kind of like how the guys we've been bringing in, like Kappa, just like a guy like that. Uh, so personally, last year I was on some, we need to have a conversation about Miller. He did not start the season well. It wasn't until halfway through the season, in my opinion, before he started playing really well. But I will say he did play better, though, towards the end of the season. Is he worth 4 for 80? You know what I do? I draft a young tackle, probably with that 107th pick or that 144th pick, and don't sign Miller yet and have him compete for the job. And then you light that fire under him and see if he got that 4 for 80 in him. Pause. If not, if the youngster outplays him and takes the position, then you just let him play his contract out and become a free agent next year. He'll be one of the biggest free agents on the market next year when the season is over. But then we have a young fella to just step in and replace him. So that's a scenario you could do with him. Or you could just pay him. You could just pay him and kind of forget about that position and move on to another area, another position on offense, on the team to get better at. Or are we, we don't want to just hand guy stuff though, right? We don't want to just, this is not that Raiders anymore where we just because everybody says you're a good player, we gonna leave you over there and they gonna pay you and like that. No. Compete. They're gonna compete, man. You'll see. Competition Tuesdays. Remind me to tell y'all about that with Pete Carroll. I'm a big Pete Carroll guy. I'm a USC guy, so I remember Pete and what he's about. I've been around the guy, the Win Forever program. Anyway, Pete just might decide, him and Spytech, to make Colton compete by drafting a young guy. There's a couple guys. I haven't even got to them yet. I'm gonna do a video on a guy soon, and this week I would say, a guy that could perhaps replace Colton Miller. So there's a decision right there to make. I'm leaning towards re-signing him, but I'm not mad at him competing for the job and then getting re-signed during the season, right? Or right before the season starts. There's nothing wrong with that. Let him, he's rich already, man. You don't have to baby these guys and make sure that their feelings are not hurt because they don't have guaranteed money. With everybody, you obviously don't want to do your Max Crosby's and guys like that. But Colton, last year, bro, you didn't play that well, in my opinion, to where you should just get the 80 without question. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not hating on you getting the 80, but they're gonna give you 4 for 80, man. Compete, show some fire, get that fire lit back under you, man. Hold off the youngster in a competition. You understand what I'm saying? And then, bam, start the season ready to go, out there doing, being the best player that we know you can be, which is a good offensive tackle in the National Football League, top half of the league in offensive tackles when you're on your game. So get on your game. Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers value went out. He's just finishing up a 3-year, $33 million deal. So he's making, obviously 11 per. He'll be a free agent in next year. He obviously wants to get paid too and re-up and have some security and get some guaranteed money, right? I got Jacoby at a 352, 34 guaranteed, somewhere in that ballpark. Let's guarantee him for 33. So the last year's contract he had 21, I think, guaranteed out of the 33. This time you can bump him up to 33 guaranteed, right? So he gets the contract from last time, guaranteed, and then make it 52 with the option for the third year for the team. All right. So 34 million, 35 million for 2 years, and then third year option. But the first two guaranteed, right? 33 or so of that first 2 years guaranteed. Throw some little roster bonuses in there to complete that 34 plus million, 35 million for 2 years. And then they have a decision to make in 28 on whether to keep him. He would be about to be 32 at that time and about to make roughly 17 million, which I guarantee you will be a bargain by that time. So that's what I would do on Myers. We sign him, no question, because there's nobody else. I mean, let's knock it off. We have to resign him. The Raiders also hired a nerd, Ryan Pagnetti. I say the Raiders hired a nerd because this is an analytics guy. All the teams have them. You know, I guess this is the way you go. I guess you do this because everybody else does it. You don't want to be caught lacking. You don't want to not have the numbers guy. But no matter what, man, the players make the numbers. The numbers don't make the players, man. The numbers don't turn around and make the players. You understand what I'm saying? The players make the numbers, bro. But anyway, they hired a nerd, Ryan Pagnetti, worked with Chip Kelly before in Philly. So this is your go for it on fourth. Don't go for it on fourth. That guy. So let's hope he doesn't mess up. Let's hope he doesn't choke up in games and he's actually like worth something. So Ryan Pagnetti, the Raiders hired a nerd. The Raiders also signed a defensive tackle, Leaky Fotu, D tackle. It was like they made that move after they didn't get Ellis. So it might have been already going, something that was in the mix already, but it was a trip that like right after they didn't get him, the other guy, Ellis, they went after this guy. But he comes from the Jets. He plays D tackle. He's one of the anchor type guys. He's a big dude, run stuff, good win rate on run downs. So just a nasty run stuffer to go in there alongside Malcolm, Wilkins, and Max, right? A depth guy, a rotation guy. We will be putting him in there, Adam Butler, this guy, Jonah, you understand me? A rotation guy. So the Raiders added some depth to the defensive line. Now, as the draft approaches, all right, we'll get more. Everything is draft from here on out. Everything is about the draft unless they sign people. That's who we'll talk about that too. But right now, the debate, and this is the final segment, I'm going to let you guys go after this. What should the Raiders do at 6? Last week, if you would have hollered at me, I was leaning towards Teterow and McMillan, right? The receiver from Arizona at 6. People now are saying the Raiders should just get Genty. I got to dive back into the film and see, is Genty really worth that? Picking him that high. I'm not mad at picking a running back that high because at least he's going to get some money, some guaranteed money with the 5th-year option. So he can start his career off at least with some decent bread because you guys know how they do the running backs. So that part of it, I'm not mad at drafting Genty high. However, I don't want to be one of these cats like these nerds running around and never play football talking about the value of running backs and how you're not supposed to pay them and all that, talking about them like they a piece of meat or whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the kind of like the way that comes off. Uh, it don't come off right to me, especially when it be like nerd cats saying it that never played football, and it just has a different vibe to it. So I don't like hearing that. Oh, don't pay them; they're gonna be hurt. Blah, 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 like like they some cattle or something. So the running back class is deep. Remember, if you watch my other videos, I think it was Coop and I, one that Coop and myself did, um, and what I did by myself. I got to like 13 running backs that look draftable in this draft that can be decent. So that's what scares me about drafting Genty that high. We might end up being able to draft another running back, maybe in the third round, that's going to end up being just as good career-wise as Genty. However, if he really is that good, and I'm going to take a long look at him, then we might need to go with him at 6. Um, then you say, all right, Ragu, then if not him at 6, then who? I'm kind of off Tetaroa because I found another guy that's just as sweet as him, and we could get him a little bit lower. A little, we don't have to go as high in the draft to grab this guy. I don't think. I could be thinking just like some of the pro GMs because that happens a lot, and they follow me from burners too. But I haven't even put it out yet who this guy is. Um, but it's a receiver from Iowa State, Jaden Higgins. Great win rate, big guy. I'm thinking red zone catches for Raiders, right? He wins a lot of 50-50 back shoulder type. We can get him, man, right? Myers, him, Tucker, Bowers, the running back, whether it be Genty or whoever it's going to be. And then this guy is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's like the 10th receiver. If he's the 10th receiver, that's going to project him out past the 3rd round, right? We might could grab this guy in the 4th round. Something crazy like that. Now we got a starter at receiver. Opposite Myers, we have the speed with Tucker. We add another speed guy. Let's add we have to add a slot guy, probably. Tyler Lockett comes to mind. I know he's not a burner, and the Raiders are we're gonna need some speed. And Tucker is fast. But this guy, I like him because of red zone win rate and those 50-50 kind of throw it up balls. He's big. Pause. He's big, and his win rate was good in college. I saw a lot of plays where the DB was right there and he just took it from him. He's once he kind of like squares his pads back up towards the line of scrimmage, towards the thrower, it's tough to get around him, man. And he catches that ball. He's a nice, big, solid target. And then with some coaching, I think he can be even better. And he was faster than we thought. I think he ran like a 4.46 in the 40 at the combine. So I'm liking Jaden Higgins in the lower rounds, perhaps even the 4th, and end up being able to be a starter for us. Also, freeing up those earlier round picks to get right, man. Whether it be quarterback, running back, O line, 2 O linemen, perhaps. It gives you some flexibility if you can get this guy in the later round. Hopefully, nobody's gonna catch on to what I said. I should have kept it to myself. But Tet is 6'4", 219. Jaden Higgins 6'4", 215. Check them out. I'm gonna do a vid. You guys can compare the two. we'll see what's gonna go. So right now, man, I'm as torn as ever about the 6th pick. Right now, I don't know who to pick. We do, depending on who's there. Another thing, if Travis falls, of course, we take him too. But so right now, man, at that 6th spot, I can't lock in to anybody. I like Shador for sure if he's there. I know that's a big if. I'm starting to come around on Genty if he's going to be a generational guy. And he's a running back. I want him to get paid. If we don't go that route, I got a couple other ways we could go, but I haven't really studied that up yet. So because I was just on Tetaroa until I saw this other kid. So pause. So we'll see. I'm not gonna hold you. We'll talk about it on my next show. We'll have some clarity. Please comment on this on the YouTube show. Let me know what you guys think we should do at number 6. So you know how I am. What I always say, just win, baby, and peace.